I've always just like stayed at Walmart and stuff. And there was a while when I first started out, I was all in the rainforest. And, I like living in a cave in Hawaii and, like,
So like nobody came to you and reached out and said, hey, we have affordable housing for you here. Would you like to fill out an application?
nobody's ever done that. Like, I've never been in a state for long enough. Like, they haven't even offered me housing here. Like, and I don't really expect it. Like, I'm not planning any housing. Like, I'm pretty sure I'll leave before then. Like, not really keep me here. But yeah, that's it. Well, you don't have to offer me a house.
No, but I mean,
Well, I understand that, but it's like a house is a little, I mean, sure.
House where we can-
House out of your pocket.
What about you, Tim? I'm sorry, I'm just calling y'all.
I don't know what to say.
Well, I can tell a little bit of my experience with, not with homelessness, because I was never trying to get a house, I was just staying with random people. But when I do know when I applied, I had to stay on the list for like 2 to 3 years just to get an apartment. And then my current problem now is with the housing authority, they won't let you save no money. Like, you can't keep $1,000 in your bank account, which is strange to me. It's kind of like it's a box wanting to keep you down. Like, they don't want you to move forward. And my rent was like $100, and then as soon as I got a job, it was like $500. And are supposed to, they're a little behind right now, praise the Lord. But it's supposed to be like 100 when you only make like literally not much at all. So that's my current problem. Like, it's like they want you to be stuck. You can't move ahead unless you got somebody you can trust. You can get a safe to save some money up. You know what I'm saying? Stuff like that. But you can't really get ahead if in the system with only just you.
The thing that's really been keeping my best friend DC, one of my best friends in the world, he's like disabled and he like can't walk and he just had a stroke and we've been trying to get him housing for a year and they had him and the housing authority said, accepted his application and then they rejected him because he had a record, he had a felony on his record.
Yeah.
So he got rejected. So like what else are we like? Where else can we even go? Yeah, like, and he was like,
I didn't get.
good.
Yeah, I definitely could relate to that. I was before I came here, I was working on moving in Georgia. I know that's a different state, but even out here too, I've been dealing with that because I have the wreckages of my past as felonies of that. It's like I guess they think I'm about to move it and make it a trap house. I'm not trying to do that right now. I have a job now. I'm working. I've changed my life around and want to do different stuff and have a location where I can call my own. Also, I would say one of the things that I think that a lot of times we deal with is almost like what Brooke was talking about, where are you homeless or not? And I think that sleeping on somebody's couch is homeless.
Yeah.
It seems like, I'm not homeless because I have somebody's couch or I have a location that I'm going to, but that's not mine. And any day they could say to me, hey, you didn't dry the sink out after you washed the dishes. You got to go. Like, it could be. I don't like the way you're breathing. You got to go. It could be anything. It's their place. You're not even on a lease half the time. Sometimes they could even get in trouble for having you there. There's all different type of stuff that's going on. So I feel like, to me, the definition of what homeless means to the people who are supposedly put in place to help you.
Yes.
What is the definition of homeless to them?
That's a good one.
Yeah.
That's why what?
Oh, that's why I don't go in any of these places, because they're so, they keep all
Too
the
many
money.
rules. And you know why? It's government money.
Yeah.
The government puts the rules on them and they can't give it the way they want to give it.
Yeah.
They might want to give it that way, but they can't. Because it's like, you can only get this money out if blah, blah, blah. Like, that's like that one little program. You can only get the money if you actually living on the street.
It ain't like they give it to you tomorrow either. It's like you got to be actually living on the street. And then it's like still wait, and then they gonna they put you on a list. It's like it's almost not a joke, but it's a joke because if you're homeless, if you were actually homeless or whatever that even means, you would be dealing with that every day. So you're telling me that I came in your office, I filled out all this paperwork, and you feel like you're help, and you legitimately let me leave
Yes.
and go live back on the street again. Thanks.
And that's
Good thing I
what-
came here. I did that over the phone.
Right,
Right.
and that's what I hate, yeah, I hate that, it's like, oh, come here to us, not us come to
But you
you.
have to do all these like things just to get like basics,
get
like
it,
a
yeah.
food, shower.
And the fact that you have to leave again even bothers me, it's like, can we be like, okay, come on, we got this little spot over here.
Which won't affect your thing, because it's like they're saying if you're not so when you went there, if you was completely homeless, now they call you back. Well, I'm sleeping at my cousin's crib because he felt bad for me because I was living on the street. Oh, you're out the program now. What?
But you also need a place to get things mailed to.
I think it's a disconnect between housing and the actual community that's
Yeah.
trying to help people.
Yeah.
Like us in housing, it's a disconnect. Even the reentry program was talking about, it's a disconnect. It's not I feel like it needs to be some connections where we can be like, okay, we got somewhere for you to go, boom, boom, then you in. But it's not any connection.
I think one more thing too. Besides discrimination against your felonies or your history, I just think in general, them applications to try to get a crib and have to pay for the application and all of that. Oh my!
And your own background check.
What?
Your own background
I
check.
spend at least $2,000 to $3,000 trying to get a crib on just application fees. $50 here, $100 here, $75 there, just trying to, and this for them to tell you, no, they don't even call you back. Like, did you get it? Oh no, yeah, I forgot to tell you. Yeah. No, I'm just like, it feel like a real scam, and some of them are even scams.
And you know what? Well, I can speak on the Section 8 too. I think that there needs to be a cap. There needs to be a time limit. They need to let you save some dark on money so you can get your own crib and mortgage it, which other people can move in to your same position and like come up. Because you know you can stay on Section 8 till you die. And then that stops people from getting jobs, stops people from bettering their life, and then it keeps other people out of a freaking home. It's so annoying. So that's another. Like give other people a chance. Let's better some people and get them moved out and we can keep rotating. It's no rotation.
Yeah. Like give and like support them to like give more services to.
Yeah, let them keep some money in their bank account.
The only thing I know is like Ticket to Work, which is what I'm participating in right now through Vote Free Hub, but that took forever to get coordinated into their office. And once I wasn't homeless anymore, it took a while for them to even want to help me. But still in unstable housing situations.
Yeah, that's crazy. That needs to be the number one focus right now for everyone. I don't like number one.
I think lack of housing stability equals homelessness.
It does. It does.
It's just basically
It does, yeah.
it's the same
I mean, you can
space.
have all the money in the world, just like you see people out there, they get checks, they get money, they can't get into a crib, but they spend it every single day. Like you cannot. How can you live in a $50 hotel every freaking day and then have money to rent and have a deposit or even save money? Because then you have to buy food.
Right.
Fast food every day is freaking high. That's $20 a meal.
Yeah.
That's $20 and that's 3 times a day. That's $60 and then the $50. That's $100, $200.
And realistically, if you're paying that much money, you can afford the average rent at a location.
Yes, but nobody will let you in, right?
If you're paying $50 a day, that's 30 days, $50 a day. You definitely can afford to pay a rent somewhere.
Yeah.
Over.
If you get a check for $1,600, you can get rent. I have a guy that gets checks for $1,600, can't get in nowhere.
Because he got to make 3 times the rent.
Yeah, and then the housing authority takes
And
years.
does that even make sense for all the areas? Like, do they take care of those spaces well enough to have
Right.
that be a thing?
Heard that.
Cause they don't. Girl, I got a hole in my wall. I can't have it since I moved in.
I mean, it should be entire.
See, that hole's been there since I moved in.
Lisa,
I don't even call them though. That's how like you done got consistent and used to that type of treatment. It's like, who am I gonna call them for? They ain't gonna fix it over. Right? You know, we all just catch mothers and die.
Or I'm afraid that they'll.
you already resolved to that?
I have a lease that's coming up, but I'm not gonna be renewing it. But I fear that if I call them for so much that they're going to raise the price of rent.
They're
Because
gonna do
Aberdeen
something.
took over the building from the last landlord and raised it.
And I don't wanna bother them, cause they got kids in my apartment. I'm like, I'm not gonna bother these people, they got kids in my apartment, they can come do anything to me. Yeah, how about not
They're
have
not
to give
legally allowed
everybody
to do it
keys?
without warning you.
They're not allowed, but they don't
They
even know.
could.
If they do, then they're supposed to. Yeah, none of that really works out.
You know.
You get called to 211 or whatever, and it takes forever for them to even come and check on anything.
Well.
Yeah.
So that's the housing issue today. And then from the homeless people, it's just a hot mess. You gotta have ID, you gotta have a social, you gotta have a birth certificate, you gotta have another mailing address, you gotta have, income, like how you getting all that?
And
Your
also,
award letter and your blood.
Yeah, what letter?
if somebody does have a resource for this, please let me know. But there's, I volunteered today, and there was somebody there that was very like, they mentally were not able to do the phone call to get the documents. Like they were very confused and disoriented. And how do you help people like that? Who's the liaison to help those people? And there's restrictions around the help that you can give too. But when they're like that vulnerable, they have no family or anything. What do you do?
Yeah, because they just left behind, because usually you would have a person to help you do that, but of course somebody would have to actually set
They
that
just
up
get
for you
arrested.
as well. You know?
Right.
Yeah, that's mental issues, yeah. Yeah, sound like we need to go get out on the street, do some street walking.
Then last summer I walked.
I mean, we ain't gonna have nowhere for them to go, but we.
I think the parks should be turned into spaces like that.
The little homes was the idea, but I don't think, even though maybe we could push it, but people don't want that in their neighborhoods.
In the Kenwick neighborhood, they already do stuff like that. But it's considered like gentrified, like hippie, beautiful, cool, whatever.
Quick question, I think we're gonna share back in the group, so y'all want to do that, that'd be great. Y'all said some
What?
Y'all said some good stuff, so we're gonna share back to the group, so yeah, if you wanna talk
Alright,
that.
y'all, thanks for sharing. I'm gonna get set up here and we're gonna, link back up with the other group and pencil that. I'll let you unmute it. And I can either share first, or you can share first with him out of that review.
Anybody wanna share, give a summary?
But I think one of y'all, I'm good.
How about everybody?
I'm good, I'm good.
Okay.
I
I
mean,
know y'all
I
had a bomb conversation. I'm ready to hear it.
Yeah, okay, we're gonna,
Is it unmuted so everybody can hear? Okay.
yeah, so we're gonna share
Turn
it
it
back.
up so we can hear through that.
Okay.
Wait, who wants to share? Bill, you don't want to? Somebody wants to? No, you can do it.
I'll share whatever. I don't remember everything, but I remember some of the stuff.
Unmuted.
So they can hear you.
You can't hear me? I can talk louder.
Okay, so
I got you. Can you hear me? Bless, thank you. Things we talked about that interrupt us during our seeking housing is the various loopholes we have to jump to, just trying to get it.
I can't hear you right now. One of you needs to get muted. Thank you.
Okay. My apologies. Thought I was face
We just
screaming.
need to spotlight you,
I
that's
hold it.
all.
I get it. Thank you. How you doing, Bless? One of the things that we discussed over here was all of the obstacles we have to jump through just to receive housing. The difference between being homeless and just sleeping on somebody's couch, and how actually there is no difference in that. If you're not having a stable home, you're basically homeless anyway. We also talked about how when people are trying to receive help, a lot of times it's based on different things like religious locations, where if you don't automatically agree that Christ is your savior, if nothing's wrong with that,
yeah,
but
Still, options.
there's options of the idea of, hey, another person doesn't subscribe to that for whatever reason. Now they have to be homeless because of that, and just the things that it seems like is less about helping you and more about just making you fit into some cookie cutter situation, when the reality of life is that's not going to get you off the street. And how most of the time help takes so long to get to you that you might lose qualification for those programs because as I said before, if you're not living on the street, they say they can't help you, and if your auntie let you sleep in the basement for a week because she was feeling nice, now they're like, oh, you're out the program.
You just told a whole word. Okay.
Did I miss anybody else?
Is there anything else that y'all want to share about what y'all discussed?
Yeah, making sure that like halfway homes and things are actually safe.
Yes. Making sure that the things in between being houseless and housed are actually safe options.
Yeah.
Yes.
And also, not being put in a box by affordable housing and being able to save and grow and be able to move on from affordable housing instead of being stuck there. Or feeling like you may could be stuck there.
So moving from affordable housing to self-sufficiency.
Yes.
And what that looks
and
like.
them promoting it and not demoting it, basically.
Okay. Thank you for that.
Did we miss anything?
And were y'all able to hear us?
And another one, April. He said being offered it. He's never been offered affordable housing or to know that he can even have a house where he's at.
And I've been homeless for like since 2009 and until 2017 when I went to my mother's house. And I got a car and then I was healing and by 2020 I was out again and nobody's ever offered me a house. But I've been in a lot of other states, like I've been traveling from state to state and state, and, you know, and nobody can really. The housing, it doesn't come really easy. They'll make you wait like 6 months on the street, and then at that point they're like, well, I already know how to do streets. You know, I mean, I've already found my food, and so you have to find food.
And credentials.
Yeah.
You gotta
It's
have
like
an
some
ID,
kind of
this,
Hunger
that.
Games scenario.
Yeah.
That's a good way to describe
That
it.
is a good way to describe it.
You have to have a million acres renting places,
Yeah.
and also there should be rent caps,
Yes, rent caps.
Rent caps, yeah.
Rent caps.
and also application fee caps because they charge 3 times the amount when the price of living is not
Application fee
changing.
caps. I don't know if y'all heard that.
And helps for
There should
felons.
be application
Forgot that.
fee caps.
Will be-
Help for felons.
Oh, help for felons, yeah, we said that, so that way, that's a good segue. One of the things that came up in our group is how criminalization, impacts folks who are trying to access housing because there are criminal background checks that prevent you from accessing safe, affordable housing. And then criminalization also comes in because, landlords have the power to write lease terms in a way where if you call the police or the police come for anything, you can be kicked out, even if it's a domestic violence situation, so then you're not allowed to feel safe in your own home or to get out of a situation that could be unsafe for you. We talked about the criminalization of mental illness. That there is, when landlords cross boundaries that they're not supposed to cross when it comes to entering your home or exploiting you through the terms of a lease or not fixing housing to make sure that it's safe, that there's nowhere for us to go.
Yeah.
And that there aren't existing ways for us to collectivize our experiences, about bad landlords, or to say we don't want it to be this way, whether it's a rent cap or a cap on application fees.
And days the rent is charged for people with social security disability.
What is it?
Like to have in the lease terms that it's supposed to be from like the 1st to the 5th, because some people get it at different parts of the month. But that's
Okay.
regular money that they would get, that they get to discriminate about.
Yeah,
Yeah, late
making sure
fees is
that
stupid.
rent is due at when people who get social security income or income that comes at a certain time of the month, that they're not being discriminated against or exploited because of fees when the landlord knows that the payment is coming anyway. So that kind of synthesizes what came up in our group. And we do want to make sure that, I will make sure you all get a link that was shared online here there is a Lexington tenant review link, where if you have a bad experience with a landlord, it is a way for you to record it so that at least other people in Lexington will know about it. So I will share that with you all. But that is our synthesis. If you wanna move to the next thing, Emma, I will mute this computer if you wanna unmute that one.
That was wonderfully long. Okay, so, the next section we have is to sort of think of, have some examples of ways that people are addressing this, trying to address things like this now, and like, with thinking about in mind, like, what we might wanna do our project on, yeah, so we've got some examples of stuff that people have been doing, and we also have people on this call that have been doing work in how, like, organizing around housing. And I know that there are some really interesting